One of the scarier, more complicated mechanics in M1S is the Phase 2 version of 9 Lives. This is the mechanic that takes place after Mouser 1. So after the stage was restored, some small mechanics here and there, uh, Black Cat will cast 9 lives. This marker indicating where she'll end up with will appear on either the west side or the east side. And you're paying attention to the marker in terms of if she is jumping to the left or if she's jumping to the right. So let's say the marker appears here, she jumps to the left. This is relative to her. So she goes ahead and jumps there. And based on the animation of claws, which claws were glowing first, she'll cleave either the outside first, or she'll cleave the inside first, like that. You will dodge the first cleave, you'll move to the other side of her and dodge the other cleave. That's the first part of this 9 lives, this multi 9 lives phase, this mechanic. And after she completes this, she's going to create a duplicate, and she's going to put it somewhere. It's either going to be here at the north-ish of the center of the stage looking south, or it will be at the south-ish of the center stage looking north. She'll place one of these, and you'll have to remember that this is the one for the 1-2 cleave. So for example, if it was here, you know that later, and I do recommend having markers in these 4 spots, like numbered markers, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can have like this way, so that whatever number you put in this northeast corner, you know that, okay, later she's going to jump left, and she's going to, and if she cleaved the outside first, for example, she'll do the same thing here. She'll just jump, the copy will jump to the left like she did, and it'll go ahead and cleave the outside, followed by cleaving the inside. You just have to, it doesn't go off right away, you have to remember that this is the one this corresponds to. Then she's the boss, will go ahead and turn this way. So now she's looking at the stage in this way, and then she's once again going to jump left or right. There will be this marker again indicating. So now she'll jump north or south based on where she ended up. And this is when she's going to do the alternating protein version of her slash attack. So she has both claws out, the marker appears, let's say it appears north, she jumps north, and then based on if your party wants to do true north or wants to do relative, the party will go ahead and assemble around the boss as usual with, say, if it supports in first, so then they'll be in the cardinal positions on the inside. DPS will be outside. The slash mechanic will go, the protein mechanic will go off where she hits the closest the supports. Supports go out. DPS go in. She then hits all the DPS with a cone. DPS go out. Supports usually rotate over to DPS side as the cardinals get cleaved again based on when they were originally hit, and then everyone goes ahead and moves to the cardinals so that they can dodge the the recorded DPS version of the protein slashes, like that. Yeah, you get the point there. So she will do that mechanic. Once you successfully complete that, it'll be the basic version of that mechanic. Once you successfully complete that, she will record the second copy of her cat, her 9 lives copy. Will go ahead and appear on the stage. It'll be opposite the first one, and you'll have to remember, okay, originally the boss was here when she started that second part of the mechanic. She jumped left, so the copy will also jump left and then do that mechanic. The mechanic will be a little different, but that's what you have to remember. So if she had jumped left both times, both jumping left from the center over to here for the this first stored version and jump left again for the second one. So then you know both of these copies will jump left. If she jumps right, you have to remember which copy jumps right. So you know that when the copies go off, they're gotta go in that direction. She will go ahead and tether to one of her copies, and that's the copy that will wake up and do its mechanic first. So this one before, we know it's the cleave. If she tethers to this one will wake up. The party should be assembled somewhere over on this northeast end, because they know this is where the boss is going to end up. And if it's going to cleave the outside first, like the boss did, the party will be on the inside. Relative to this position, the copy will go ahead and leap here, leap leftward relative to itself. It will cleave the outside of the arena. And then the party will move in as it cleaves the inside of the arena. So that's that portion. There's a slight difference to this part of the mechanic as well. Initially, the party will actually have to be in two groups. This will be light parties. You will not be in one group, because there will be line stacks that will fire off group against group 1 and fire off against group 2 as she's cleaving the first side of it. So she cleaves, the stack line markers go off, then the party together moves to the safe side as she cleaves the inside, and that's the end of that copy. That copy goes away. So that's the first one. Then the other copy will activate. We know that this one is going to be the proteins, so this will be when the party is assembled around it. The difference on this one will be as it jumps over here and gets ready to cleave everyone. Before that, we're going to get markers. Orange arrow markers indicating the spread mechanic is going to concentrate entirely on one of the groups, either all the supports, so all the supports could get this marker, or all the DPS could get this marker. Well, all the DPS like this. So all supports, all the DPS get the marker. So you're about to be hit by a spread if you have this marker. You cannot be the one that baits the protein. So if it was on all of the supports for our first example, then instead of supports in, if it's usually supports in, it will be instead all of the DPS will go in to the boss first, to the, not the boss, but the copy of the boss. They'll go into the copy of the boss and bait the proteins. Once again, this is good. It's good to have the way markers located at these 4 points, here and here. It's good to have way markers at these 4 points because you could do it relative to the marker, so you can go ahead and position on the corners of the markers if you're a DPS, or on the cardinals of the marker if you're supports, and that's a way to do this evenly. Because sometimes the copy is hard to keep track of, especially if the boss is pulled over here on top of it, potentially making it confusing. So go relative to the marker, bait the protein waves, and then the spread markers on the supports will have gone off after that. So they won't have these markers anymore. The markers will instead, now the DPS will have a marker over them. So the DPS have to move out, just like if they're doing the mechanic as usual. And then now the supports can go in and bait theirs after they've been hit by the spread, their own spread markers. So then the next set of spread markers go off. You do the mechanic the same as usual after this. You just have to be wary, avoid up the person that has the spread marker, so because if you get on top of them, you're gonna get hit, you're gonna die. So you resolve that mechanic after the second leap, second stored leap, and that's the end of the 9 lives mechanic for the most part. And then you just continue onwards.